This is your WW3 news of a Wednesday afternoon. And obviously I'm in a place called Pontenera, as the local inhabitants have rebaptised the name of this location. And it's a location where they build the most famous iconic scooter, the Vespa. Yes, that's always at Pontenera. You would expect Italian excellence like Ferrari or Ducati or prestigious brands like this. Well, I can tell you one thing, the employees for a number of years, their working conditions is like working in a sweatshop, a lot more worse than in India or China. The working standard qualities. And you ask yourself, why did you say that? It's not impossible, it's possible. Because you've got to know one thing. Every time it rains, various parts of this factory, workshops, they turn into a lake or a pond or a fountain in certain areas, which has been documented, photographically and videoed. And every time it's happened, it's sent to the powers that be, the owners or the managers who run this joint. You would imagine people of common sense or logic, they would take action, evaluate the situation, try to carry out structural repairs. No. They are so tight-assed people, they don't want to spend not even €1 to carry out repairs on the building itself. Now, we're talking about various parts of this plant, not just where the old warehouses are, even an assembly plant as well. When it rains, they have to suspend a certain production line because otherwise the water will ruin the machinery or the assembled product. It's just laughable. Bunch of stingy arseholes, they are. Incredible. But this is the normality. And obviously, you got their gatekeepers, the psychics of this ocean, so-called defending the interests of the workers, but they only are at the service of the establishment, the great mighty bumhole. I saw one of their shop stewards taking photos of a puddle on the wall, on the floor, and a beam of a ceiling. You got to be there when it really rains, when it becomes a fountain or a waterfall, which is well documented. Pity I didn't have it underhand. I would have shown you, but mark my words, it's absolutely hilarious and ridiculous as well. You know, it rains in a factory. They don't carry out repairs to make it safe for the employees. No, they don't give a fuck about them. It's a sign which demonstrates they have no intentions to invest at Pontenera. Like they said, in 10 years they invested more than €1.4 billion. Well, it's not certainly a Pontenera, their main production factory. And until an accident doesn't happen, the whole goddamn thing collapses on top of the workers. Heads will roll, managers will be indicted, and obviously the magistrates would like to, who's responsible for this mess? Why didn't they act? when these things occur. From info, the situation of these leaking roofs, or these industrial warehouses, as you say, is from since 1994, believe it. Some confidential information. A colleague of mine, and it goes to show another sign they have no intentions to invest in this site. Otherwise they would have done it before. They would have make it more decent, more shipshape, instead of a gloomy appearance of a third world sweatshop, which conditions are appalling. Well, we're enough to that anyway. And you know, how's it possible people do not rebel? Do not rise up and say, listen, this is not right? Because, let's face it, Italians may be good in certain things, like excellence, fashion, and mechanics. When it comes to stick up for their rights, they seem to be a herd of sheep. And they go, meh, to their masters, whoever misleads them. This is sad. They haven't got that combative spirit. Probably only a few have. But it doesn't make much of a dent these days, because probably once upon a time they were more, how do you say, more combative. There used to be a hell of a lot of people going on strike, going around in a manifestation around the factory itself. Those days are over. Can't do nothing anymore. What type of industrial action you can take if you haven't got no more the means to do so? You have to, in this case, you have to passively accept your defeat and bow down to the ever increasing demands of the establishment for less money, which the trade unions at work have a great responsibility. Contracts done in a few years late, never done at the current inflation of the cost of living at the moment. No, it's always the cost of living of 4 years ago. What use is that? You know, it's a total shit show. It's a tragic comedy on stage. And regarding the visit of the Italian President Sergio Mattarella, 7 minutes and 30 seconds to visit this factory. Looks like he hasn't got much interest in it. Probably doesn't give a shit. It's only there for institutional purposes he comes, and to receive probably the citizenship of Pontenera. And regarding politicians, until there's a song and dance and an interest of the future of this company and its problems, local politicians will talk. But when it comes to the moment the spotlights will be switched off, sincerely, local politicians do not give a fuck. They're more interested in those illegals who are so-called refugees, because it's more important for them than workers, pensioners or students, locally speaking. And obviously in 2 years' time, what's going to happen, what's going to be the future of this company and the employees is very uncertain. There's going to be layoffs. Who knows of what the certain entity, workers and office workers as well, because there's too many. Mind you, there are too many managers who are not very productive. You should put them on the chopping board. Inefficient and not professional, up to the specs of the role which they cover.